Peter Parker is holding his dying sweet Aunt May in his arms. A sniper shot aimed at Peter ended up hitting the old lady with the bullet instead. This traumatic experience would promptly lead to a chain of events that will lead Peter Parker down a dark path that he never would have imagined. Peter furiously launches a vehicle at the shooter in a fit of rage. There's no time to chase him, and we see Mary Jane attempting to call 911. So Peter, without changing into his Spider-Man costume, quickly web-slings May to the hospital. Peter stays out of sight from the hospital staff, but overhears that May has lost a significant amount of blood. Peter visits the shooter's perch and restrains a police officer with a thick layer of webbing. Inside, he discovers a sniper scope and then departs, leaving the officer still bound. Still dressed in his civilian clothes from earlier, he interrupts an illegal weapons deal and interrogates the criminals about the unusual sniper scope. Mary Jane visits Aunt May in the hospital, where a doctor informs her that May isn't going to survive. Peter vows not to rest until he finds the person responsible. He decides to put on his infamous black suit, a symbol of vengeance that he once swore he would never wear again.
Maybe I kept it because there might come a day when I'd want to send that message. That the rules don't apply anymore, that the gloves are off, that I won't stop, can't be stopped. Until I find the people responsible for shooting May, I will find them, and when I do, I'm going to kill them.
Peter starts tracking down more sellers of sniper scopes. When he confronts the last one, he hurls the dealer out of a window, only to catch him by the foot with a web line. The dealer then reveals that the assassin who bought the scope is named Jake Martino. Spider-Man confronts Jake, brutally beats him, breaks his arm, and demands to know who hired him. Just as Jake is about to reveal the name, he's shot through the chest. Peter quickly tags the second assassin with a spider tracer before they escape. The police arrive to assist Martino, and Spider-Man follows his ambulance to the same hospital where Aunt May is. Mary Jane informs Peter that May isn't going to survive. Peter then finds the second shooter making a call and webs his mouth shut, listening in. The caller is Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. Peter realizes that Martino was hired to kill him, not Aunt May. He questions the assassin about why Martino was killed, and the man reveals that Martino knew something Fisk didn't. Peter ties up the second shooter, Jim, in a sewer, where rats begin to attack him. Peter threatens Jim, who begs for mercy, promising to do anything. Peter warns him to stay away from his family. He then rushes to the hospital and transfuses some of his blood to Aunt May to save her, before heading to the prison to confront Kingpin. Inside this maximum security prison, Spider-Man comes face to face with the man who has made his life a living hell in a matter of a few hours. The man who, after finding out his true identity, sent lackeys to make sure that Peter suffers. And just to make things even more sinister, he did this all from his own prison cell. Wilson Fisk looks forward to this confrontation. In his head, this is the grand finale of their years-long feud with each other. He wants to make a show of it, so he even ordered his fellow inmates not to help him, but to watch him beat the wall crawler once and for all. But there's one thing that the Kingpin forgot to take into account. Spider-Man is done playing the hero this time. So, the dark wall crawler doesn't even let Wilson finish his self-aggrandizing speech when he strikes the criminal mastermind right in the head. The Kingpin continues to mock and taunt Peter, thinking that he can get a rise out of the man. Still, Spider-Man remains silent as he busts open Wilson's nose with a flurry of punches to the face. At this point, you'd think the bald mafioso would have learned his lesson, but he continues to provoke the wall crawler. Finally, Peter answers, but it's not the one that the Kingpin has been expecting. The criminal mastermind thought that going after his loved ones would make Spider-Man forget his moral code, but Peter has other plans. Peter tells Kingpin that his superhero suit means something to the world, that he won't tarnish its good name for revenge. And with that, Peter reveals that he did not come to this prison to destroy Wilson Fisk as Spider-Man. He's going to do it without the mask. He's going to do it as Peter Parker. So, he takes it off and wastes no time giving Kingpin the beating that he doesn't need, but the one he deserves. Peter opens with a left hook to the mafioso's face. A second after that, Kingpin gets completely ragdolled, as the man he once knew as Spider-Man assaults him with punches, kicks, and throws that make him look like a second-rate thug.
At the end of the day, you're just a fat man with an attitude. A balloon just waiting for someone to stick a needle in it. And me? I'm the needle.
Kingpin tries to take Peter by surprise, lunging at the wall crawler at full speed and trying to come up with a combo of his own. But all his strikes hit nothing but air as Spider-Man bobs, leaps, and weaves through Wilson's attacks. Tired of his enemy's fruitless efforts, Peter hits Wilson with a double hammer fist that knocks the fat man down. But, as Peter said, this is not Spider-Man he's dealing with anymore. There's no justice to be had here, only revenge. Peter berates the criminal mastermind before picking him up and slapping him. Meanwhile, all the inmates expecting the Kingpin to beat the hell out of the wall crawler can only look on in shock at how Peter has basically made Kingpin into his plaything. And when he gets tired slapping the evil out of Wilson's face, Peter does something almost unthinkable. He points his wrist right in front of his enemy's gaping mouth and tells him that all it takes to kill a common criminal like Wilson Fisk is a single stream of white, hot web fluid shot directly into his throat. As Peter tells it, the string of webbing will go straight down his throat, through his esophagus, and right into Wilson's lungs. All it takes is 3 seconds to turn the respiratory system of one of New York's greatest supervillains into a useless mess of tissue and webbing. So the wall crawler counts to 3. And when he's put the fear of God right in Wilson's eyes, Spider-Man pulls himself from the brink and just hurls his enemy away. You might start thinking that this is the moment that Peter Parker remembers his vows, that he's a superhero, that he stands for truth and justice. You'd be wrong. Because this is the point where we get to see the wall crawler at his most fearsome.
If you're going to kill me, get it over with.
Oh, I will. I said I was going to kill you, and I am. But I didn't say I was going to do it today. You see, I've learned something from you, Fisk. Something about cruelty and timing. I've done something far worse than kill you, Fisk. I've beaten you. So, here's how it's going to happen. The moment my aunt dies, I'm coming back for you, and we're going to finish what we started. And as of right now, you know there is nothing you can do to stop me. I will come to you, and I will count. 1, 2, 3, and then you'll be dead. I swear to you, on my life and her soul, on everything I hold dear, you'll be dead.
Peter then tells Wilson that all he can do until then is live with the humiliation he put him through. And as for this promise, it doesn't just apply to Wilson Fisk, as Peter Parker tells each and every criminal present in that prison that they're going to die painfully, slowly, and definitively if even one of them tries to touch his friends or family again. With that, Spider-Man swings away, leaving an entire platoon of thugs who have just lost their respect for someone they thought was their leader. And at this moment, the man once known as New York's Kingpin of crime learns a lesson in humility. True to Peter's promise, the fat bald man hobbles his way along this quiet, emptied prison with only the shame of defeat as his companion. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Check out the next video on your screen and we'll see you soon. Take care.